Fresh off their devastating summer tournament loss to Inashido, Seido has a burning desire to get revenge on Inashido and avenge the third years who graduated and can no longer play with the current Seido baseball team. Except that Narumiya, the pitcher for Inashiro, wanted to be a bratty, know-it-all, ball hog, causing Inashiro to lose and Seido not even having the chance to face them again. But Seido still has a chance at the Spring Nationals. This is because they go to going back to the events that ended off Season 1, Miyuki the catcher picked Seido's opponent in the lottery, which was Taito, for the fall tournament. And the fall tournament that happens in Season 2 is so important for many different reasons. The fall tournament is so important because of the character's individual growth, which translates into the team's growth. For example, in the Taito game, Furia the ace learns one of his main weaknesses is his lack of momentum, and this happens as a result of a lack of him continuously pitching and warming up. Because of the rain as well, which hasn't been an issue for Seido up until now, leading Sawamura the GOAT to come in and save the day. We also see this in Kawakami, who still has inhibitions about his pitching skills thanks to the Inashido game, and these inhibitions follow over into Season 2 as well. Kuramochi, who also sometimes wonders about his role as vice captain of the Seido High baseball team. Miyuki, the new captain of Seido's baseball team, who struggles sometimes with what to say to certain teammates, and he also struggles with the responsibility of being captain at times. And also Maezono, who also has doubts about his batting and leadership skills as a vice captain of the Seido High School baseball team. The fall tournament is also important because Seido realizes that every player has a role on the team. You know, not everyone can have the spotlight, not everybody can be Playboy Cardi, Lil Uzi Vert, Yeet. We don't need another SoundCloud rapper. Some of y'all need to hit the fucking plumbing books, bro. Get in the damn sewers, bro, and fix the streets. Not everybody can be a star baseball player. From Nabe, who's a player on the Seido baseball team, questioning his purpose on the team, until he discovers that he has great data analysis skills for Seido's opponents, to Fudo, who literally rolled the bench, but also helped Sawamura stretch, and he also noticed and assessed Furia and Miyuki's injuries. This is so important because as a player of a team, or just anything that you do, noticing your strong suits and the things that you're good at really helps you hone in on these talents and roles, and it helps you perfect them. The fall tournament is also extremely important because the stakes are higher than ever. Seido isn't only playing for the third years that graduated because of the Inashido loss, but they're also playing for the current coach, Kataoka, who said that he'll resign at the end of the fall tournament, and he'll be replaced by Coach Ochiai, who's a blunt, harsh coach in comparison to Kataoka. I'm not gonna lie, that's Papa, but that's the bad Papa. That's the Papa that you never go by and you barely ever speak to because he's mean as fuck. And Ochiai will actually even restructure the team's playing style because he values an individualistic approach with trying to put the burden of the entire team on the ace Furia because he likes Furia, bro. That's his favorite for sure.
You know you can go to jail for that shit, huh? What? Riding that dick with no license?
Kataoka and Ochiai's relationship is also very interesting because in sports anime, it's extremely unique. You know, in my experience of different sports anime, I can't really say that I've seen anime where the coaches actually have different opinions on how to raise their team. As far as one coach having an individualistic, egotistical, one might say, type of playing style, and the other having a team-focused, team-centered playing style. Because think of Blue Lock, right? When you think of Blue Lock, what comes to mind? Ego, okay, yes. Jimmy, you get an apple. Pride may also come into play, you know. Boys, yeah. Boys come into mind. Balls as well. Soccer balls as well. But think about if a coach embodied the mindset that Blue Lock showcases over the entire course of the anime. And think of another coach that embodies the values and core goals of a sports team like Haikyuu's, where it's really one for all versus all for one, to which a lot of the Seido players don't really know how they feel about that. The stakes are also high because the Seido baseball team has to still overcome these inhibitions that were previously stated, and at the same time, Seido also deals with more injuries than ever before, with key characters like Furia, Miyuki, and Kawakami all being injured at some point, and with these injuries somehow affecting the team in one way or another. But nonetheless, the fall tournament begins. The first game that we have is Seido versus Taito. Seido wins this baseball game thanks to the batting of Maezono and the pitching of Kawakami closing the game. We also have Seido versus Naramori. Sawamura, the main character's growth as a pitcher, is extremely evident in this game, and it's amazing to see him overcome many different obstacles. Seido versus Ugumori. In this game, Seido's batters and Furia's pitches have some very high highs, but Furia as a pitcher also has some lows. But Sawamura, the GOAT, had the last laugh. Seido versus Oya. Oya's playstyle of tricks and deception is extremely strong, but nothing can beat the strength of a literal fucking crackhead, aka Sawamura. Seido versus Seiko. Seido gets a big lead very early on, but after Furia re-injures his foot and after Seiko rallies, they tie up the game 5-5. And after the Seiko pitcher, Ogawa runs into and injures Miyuki.
Can't you see I'm blazing? Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new weapon. Bullshit blazing. Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a...
Miyuki shows how burning his determination for the team to win is, and hits the walk-off home run, helping Seido advance to the fall tournament final against Yakushi.
Know the smell of the game.
Seido versus Yakushi is an extremely exciting and active game. Both teams are going back and forth with many highs and also very many lows. Each team, batter, pitcher, coach, and other players are just giving it their absolute all. But with Seido having 2 outs, down 4-3 in the top of the 9th, you should always remember there are no miracles for those that have no faith in them. Or maybe Miyazono is just that nigga. I don't know, one of the two, because an injured Miyuki makes it home on Zono's base hit to give Seido the 5-4 lead, and Furia does the Promised Neverland Season 2 slideshow to end Yakushi's 33-game win streak and beat Yakushi high, making Seido the fall tournament champions and earning them a ticket to the Spring Nationals. After Seido's win in the Tokyo Fall Tournament, they have their sights set on the future tournaments, the Jingu Tournament, the Spring Koshien, and finally the most prestigious, the Summer Tournament, and a chance at finally getting revenge on Inashiro. But before that, they need to recruit new members, reevaluate their strategies, and rebuild upon their new team. This is all done in Diamond No Ace Act 2. Diamond No Ace Act 2 is the epitome of determination and consistency in sports anime. The characters' practice each and every day was more intense than ever, but at the same time every character had the same end goal in mind, winning the summer tournament. Personally, I feel like Hajime no Ippo is the poster boy / anime that focuses on the value of self-determination the best, but at the same time I honestly feel like Diamond No Ace is right along with it up there, but Hajime no Ippo is just more popular than Diamond No Ace in my opinion. Ippo actually has a dub and Diamond No Ace doesn't. Like, you mean to tell me some niggas couldn't get in the studio and just record some voice lines of niggas screaming and strike, ball 1, ball 2? I could have did that, bro, come on. There are also very much less boxing anime which make it more niche, But the value of determination in Seido leads into the physical and mental growth of both the older characters and the newer characters. Some of the older characters' improvements include Sawamura, aka Godamura, his ball control and efficient pitching, and also his accepting of his role on the team. We also have Furia's understanding of his role as Seido's ace, while also wanting to be the best pitcher in Japan and balancing these two goals that he has. And also the rest of the team handling their responsibilities with the roles that they were given. Kuromochi and Maazono as the vice captains, and more. Diamond No Ace Act 2 also shows the realities of the ups and downs in baseball as far as pitching, batting, and fielding. Act 2 also dives into how the personal struggles of different characters are overcame by the self-determination, confidence, and togetherness within Seido. And this is shown across the teammates and the coaches as well. But with Act 2, we are introduced to the new first years. Koshu Okumura, Seito Takuma, Kaoru Yui, Masashi Yuki, Asada Hirofumi, and more. Act 2 also really focuses on their development and their changes as characters and players, as they are the actual future of Seido, and the coach and teammates also understand this. Like when Miyuki the captain leaves, what are they going to leave behind, if things aren't already in place and the gears aren't in motion for Seido to be successful? Because if not, you might have the record of the 2025 Saints, my team, unfortunately. And successful they are because some of the first years actually even make the roster and first string of the actual team, which is amazing. Act 2 also shows the reality of winning and losing, because everything isn't always sunshine and rainbows, milk and honey, and foot rubs and caribou. Everything isn't perfect, Bitches act like bitches, only difference is they softer. Just to put up ego in a flying helicopter. Just as Inashiro lost to Yakushi, Seido could lose to anyone at any time. But with that being said, let's dive into the tournaments that Seido competed in. First, we have the Jingu tournament. Seido versus Home. No thanks to Sawamura's pitching, but thanks to the fielding of Miyuki and Kuromochi and the rest of the fielders of Seido, they win 5-2. But deep in the distance, Seido sees an animal lurking, ready to bite at the necks of anybody who approaches this animal. This animal's name is Masamune of Komodai Fujimaki. But next they face Nihon Shono. The battery of Seido really showed off in this game as they win 7-3. But next is Seido's hardest game of the Jingu tournament versus Komodai Fujimaki, and they will finally face the wildebeest that is Hongo Masamune. Furia puts on a stellar pitching performance, recording more than 12 strikeouts in the game. But in the end, the battery of Seido couldn't even score one run against Komodai Fujimaki and Masamune's pitching, as they lose 2-0 and are kicked out of the Jingu tournament. But with their seed in the Jingu tournament, they advance to the Spring Koshien. First we have Seido versus Eigen. Then we have Seido versus Hodai first. Next, Seido versus Kasuga first. These opponents up until now have been relatively easy for Seido to handle, but then comes their next biggest obstacle since Komodai Fujimaki, Ichidai III, and their pitcher, Amahisa. Furia is doing a great job at keeping up with Amahisa's pace, as they are both pitching pretty much on par with each other so far, with Furia giving up 2 runs early on in the game. But because of Masashi's fielding error and various other problems, Furia low-key loses it a little bit, and he gives up more runs to Ichidai III. This leads to Sawamura the GOAT coming in and striking out the Ichidai batters like it's nothing. But in the end, Seido lost 5-3, and they couldn't score any more runs against Ichidai III. With Seido being eliminated from the Spring Koshien, they have no choice but to watch Inashiro versus Teito in the finals. Inashiro and Narumiya, their ace, puts on a stellar performance as they win the spring tournament 3-1 against Teito. So with Inashiro winning the West Tokyo tournament previously, and now the Tokyo Spring tournament, that lights an even hotter, brighter flame in Seido and encourages them more than ever to beat Inashiro. This leads into the Golden Week, which I didn't even know that it was an actual holiday or like a week of holidays in Japan. That's pretty cool. The Golden Week is a week of intense training sessions and practice games from this period of late April to early May, with different dynamics being created between the different players of Seido that are new and old, between all of their intense training, pitching, batting, and working out, and with the coaches and players always having a growth mindset to switch things up. Seido breezes through each team in Golden Week. I'm telling you, I don't even remember a lot of the teams' names because Seido just beat the fucking brakes off of them. And I guess they weren't that important because Seido did so. But the one important game in Golden Week, the most important game, was Seido versus Hakuryu, because of Hakuryu's tactical playstyle and how that may rattle Seido and his players. And also it was extremely important because Sawamura, the GOAT, was starting this game. This would be the game that could potentially determine whether or not Sawamura was ace material, and if he could replace Furia, who was having a lot of different pitching woes. And Sawamura just does an absolutely phenomenal job in this game. His pitches are on point. They're as efficient as ever, as sharp as ever. And he even does so well that he makes headlines in the newspaper with his pitching performance, and also taking over as the ace of Seido High School's baseball team.
I will change my life like magic. Shine on me, shine on me. Everyone's out singing to the moon. Save me, I won't let you down.
But the coach Kataoka doesn't completely count out Furia and the rest of the pitchers, as they will rotate, even though Sawamura will have the ace number. Hold up though, hold up. One thing, okay? I know a lot of y'all might be thinking, but wait, Seido never beat Inashi though. I know. I just found out. I have good news, okay? Drum roll, please. Season 2 of Act 2 of Diamond No Ace returns in 2026, next year, okay? So there's a strong chance that we may see Seido versus Inashido if both of those teams make it to the finals. But we also have Ichidai 3rd, who's also lurking in the distance, and Yakushi with Todoroki as well, looking to win it all. So y'all stay tuned, and I will see y'all then, okay? I love you, goodbye, and peace.